Good morning, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey and today I'm going to guide you through a quick yoga practice that is completely suitable for beginners, and we're just going to wake up the body with some gentle movement and breath. Let's go ahead and get started in child's pose. Turn to face the front of your mat, and from table, widen your knees apart, big toes touch. Send your hips back towards your heels and walk your hands and your arms forward before melting your heart and your head to the ground. And so for our practice today, we're going to just take about 5 slow, steady breaths in each posture. But in this first posture, just taking a little bit of time to establish that flow of breath for yourself. So take the time that we're here to begin to connect more with your breath, not really asking it to change quite yet. Acknowledge its natural depth and length. Acknowledge where in your body you feel your breath. And then maybe start to breathe a little bit more mindfully by lengthening your inhales and extending your exhales. Not really putting too much pressure on yourself to make them the longest breaths ever, but making sure that they feel comfortable as well as full. One more little point here that you could incorporate in your practice this morning is to add in a little bit of an ujjayi style of breath by constricting through the back of your throat, moving your tongue away from the roof of your mouth, and it creates something like an ocean sound, like this. Alrighty, inhale, look towards your hands. Exhale, shift forward into tabletop pose again. Hands right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips. Spread your fingers nice and wide so you have a nice wide base. Cat and cow from here with that slow and mindful breath. Breathing in, lift your tailbone up, drop your belly, pull your heart forward and lift your head. Exhale. Tilt your tailbone down, round your spine, press the floor away with your arms, chin towards your throat. Inhale for that cow, that back bend. Exhale for cat. Round your spine. 3 more. Final round. Inhale, come back to your neutral tabletop pose. From here, we're going to step the right foot between the hands towards the top of the mat for a low lunge. You can get your foot up there any way that works for you. And you probably saw I had to lift my right hand to create some space. If you have blocks, you can bring them underneath your hands here. Otherwise, you could have palms or fingertips on the mat framing your front leg. And I have my right knee more or less stacked over my right ankle. As you start to now send your hips forward and down, you may notice that your knee goes past your ankle, and that's okay as long as there's not any pain in your knee. From here, we're going to undulate between this pose and a half split. So as you breathe in, shift your hips back, flex your right toes back, maybe walk your fingertips back if that's more stable for you. This is your half splits and your inhale, and then exhale, walk your fingertips forward, melt your hips forward and down. Inhale, pulling your hips back, straightening the front leg. Breathe out, roll forward into the low lunge. Think about lifting your heart here. Inhale, half splits. Exhale, low lunge. 2 more. Final round. Now, you can either walk your hands up onto your thigh, or from this position with your hands on the ground, inhale, reach your arms forward and up, stack your shoulders over your hips. So you could have hands again on your thigh for stability. You could have your hands at your waistline or at your heart space, or arms can be overhead. Squeeze your inner thighs in, press firmly through all 4 corners of your front foot. Ground down through the top of your back foot. 5 breaths. It's normal if your breath is a little bit different than mine. If I am breathing slower or faster than you can move out at your 5 breath count, or you can wait until I cue you to come down. One more breath in. Exhale. Hands frame your front foot, and we're just simply stepping the right knee back in any way that makes sense for you. And let's do that on the other side, but first let's take a brief puppy pose. So keep your hips over your knees. Drop your elbows down right where you had your hands in tabletop pose. And then you might stay here thinking about something like a cow pose, lifting your sits bones, pulling your heart forward, lifting your head, so getting a back bend, or keeping your lower body just as it is, and extending your arms forward and melting your forehead down to the mat. 5 breaths here. Inhale, lift your head, walk your hands back into table, and then we'll step the left foot between the hands. Again, I lift up my left hand just to make some space in the front of my body, and then I have my fingertips on the mat here, or you could raise your hands up higher onto blocks. Let your hips sink forward and down, lift your heart, breathe in. Exhale, shift your hips back into the half splits. And then we'll take those undulations. Breathe in here. Exhale, roll forward, fingertips forward, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one, breathing in for the half splits. Pull your left hip back, exhale, roll forward. Just like we did before, either using your hands on the front of your thigh to give you some stability here as you raise up, We're connecting to core, breathing in, reaching your arms forward and up, pressing the floor away with that front foot. Any arm variation that you feel most stable in. 5 breaths here. One more breath in. And exhale. Frame your hands over your front foot. Step your left leg back. Plant your palms, tuck your toes under. Send your hips up and down, up and back to downward facing dog. And release the weight of your head. Reach through your arms. Spread your shoulder blades apart. Ground down through your heels. Even if your heels do not touch the ground, that's okay. You want to feel some of the weight rock back into the heels so that you're not so forward leaning. 5 breaths here. Release the weight of your head. Totally okay if the knees are bent. Take care. Alrighty, inhale, look towards your hands. Exhale, step your left foot towards the top of your mat, and then walk your hands around to the midline of your mat, facing the long edge of the mat, and parallel your feet. You may even be able to point your heels out slightly and let your toes point in just a little bit. So the feet are kind of pointing in at an angle. From here, inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, walk your hands back, bend your elbows, and take a forward fold between your legs. Release the weight of your head. Your hands, your palms of your hands, can be about in line with your feet, and you can walk them back further or walk them forward as you need to. Elbows bent and squeezing in towards one another a little bit, shoulders away from your ears. 5 breaths. On your next breath then, walk your hands back under your shoulders. Find that flat back again. Straighten your arms. Walk your left hand right underneath your face. And then breathe in and reach your right arm into the air for a twist. Maybe look towards your right thumb. Exhale, stay here. One more breath in. And exhale. Right hand just replaces your left hand. Breathe in, reach your left arm up. Exhale, stay here. Hi, turkey. And exhale, left hand down. Hello. If you have a furry friend at home, now's a good time to give them a pet if they're nearby. Okay, I'm going to walk my hands towards turkey, towards my left foot. Let's pivot on the feet. You can lower your right knee down and then step your left knee back. Come back into a tabletop pose. Just a couple more poses before we take a brief rest. Inhale, reach your left hand up. Open twist. Exhale, thread your left arm under your body. Lower your left shoulder and your left ear to your mat and reach your right hand towards the top of your mat. Thread the needle. Press your left arm down, reach through your right hand, breathe, and thread the needle pose. Last breath in. And exhale, slide your right hand back, press down, and come back into tabletop pose. Let's do that to the other side. Breathe in, right arm into the air, open twist. Exhale, thread your right arm under your body, lower your right shoulder and right ear down. Left hand reaches towards the top of your mat. Breathing here, 5 breaths. One more breath in. Exhale to slide your left hand back, press down to come back into tabletop pose, and then bring your elbows down to your mat. Walk your knees back so that your hips can rest down on your mat, legs extending back behind you. Press into your forearms, pull your heart forward, press your shoulders away from your ears, chin parallel to your mat. Sphinx pose. 5 breaths. Reach back through your toes and press into the tops of your feet. Press into your pubic bone, the front of your hips. Maybe close your eyes for these last couple of breaths. And one more breath in. And exhale. Soften. Roll yourself over onto your back. And then we'll take about 10 breaths in a Shavasana position. So truly, you can take any variation of Shavasana that serves you. That might just be soles of your feet on the mat, letting your arms rest on your body or out beside you. If you're near a wall or a chair or a couch, you could put your legs up, or you can just extend your legs long. I'm going to scoot a little bit away from the wall so that I can extend my legs. Again, 10 breaths here. You don't really need to control your breath now. Just letting it calm down to that natural pace. And you'll hear my voice whenever it's time to come back into the room. Maybe even allow yourself to get lost in your breath for a little bit of time. Remaining just as you are, start to bring more awareness to your breath again. Begin to wake up your body with small, gentle movements, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. And then eventually draw your legs in. Take your time as you roll over to one side and help yourself very easily come back up to a comfortable seat. There's really no rush. Coming into a seat that Feel supportive for your hips and your lower back so that you can sit up nice and tall here. And then taking these last few breaths of your practice to acknowledge how you feel. Notice the impact that your practice has had on you today. And to feel gratitude for yourself for choosing this time, prioritizing taking care of yourself. Sense gratitude for the practice itself and how it can help to remove obstacles that get in the way of us connecting to those deeper parts within. And with that sense of gratitude in our hearts, palms together in front of the heart space, we'll close together with a chant of Om one time. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, release the air. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale to chant Om. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope that this practice has served you well. Let me know how it went for you in the comments down below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. I put out new classes like this every single Sunday completely for free. And I hope that we will practice together again very, very soon. Thank you. Namaste.